Hello everyone, Osiris Frost here. I had been preparing to record an episode revisiting my earlier predictions about what kind of announcements we can expect at CitizenCon, but then this happened.
OCS is a big technical challenge that's going to take more testing and attention than the rest of the features and improvements planned for 3.3.
And due to our date-based schedule, it has been split out, so it won't hold up the release. That means Alpha 3.3 will be released on October 10th at CitizenCon with new ships, features, and gameplay. You'll see things like FPS AI enemies for the first time and those scramble races we've seen in development, making it into the game.
Yes, we'll get OCS and all the content that comes with it, like Hurston and Lorville, live as soon as it's ready, via a dedicated patch we're currently calling 3.3.5.
It shouldn't come as a shock that there were a lot of strong reactions to this development. Certainly, I will concede that it is slightly disappointing, but mere days ago I released a video asking for exactly this type of communication from CIG, meaning that I want transparency enough to both put things on the roadmap and also honest communication when they realize that something isn't going to make the cut. Yesterday's announcement is a case of CIG doing exactly that, and I want to take this opportunity to applaud them for it. The roadmap seems to strongly polarize the community. Since Friday, I've been reading a lot of comments that align with my own thinking on the matter, but also several comments that are scathing in their criticism of CIG for yet another missed deadline, another broken promise, or further proof that Star Citizen is vaporware, or it's a scam that will never be completed. I do not believe any of these things about the game, and for the development team, I would like to offer a small token of advice. Those views represent a small, vocal minority of people who will find something to complain about no matter what you do. Do not take their salt to heart. The rest of us appreciate your openness throughout the process of Star Citizen's development, and in fact, we would encourage you to be even more open. We have your backs and believe in the project, and our desire to know even more comes from a place of curiosity and enthusiasm. One alternative to the current approach is for CIG to close ranks and not tell us anything until it's done. I don't know about you, but that's not the open development I signed on for. Another is to stick to the roadmap and publish a feature when it's scheduled, regardless of its level of completion. We've all dealt with the frustrating experience of buggy, unpolished features ruining a play session. Given those options, I would ask that CIG stay the course and keep us informed as to their best good faith estimate of when each feature will be published, and trust that the majority of backers will be understanding when they don't always meet those targets. And that's what they've always been, targets. When the roadmap was unveiled last year, they were clear that things could and would change. Dates expressed on the roadmap were in no way to be construed as deadlines, but rather goals. And before you rush to comment that I'm just a fanboy or that this is simply the latest in a long line of typical behavior by CIG, I would suggest that you go back to my channel and check out some of my other videos. I always aim to treat CIG fairly. When they do good, I give them due credit, and when they err, I call them out on it. In my most recent video before this one, I discussed the top 5 problems with Star Citizen's development. This was a discussion which was almost entirely critical of CIG's approach to the process, but rather than just take to YouTube to voice my complaints, I also offered solutions to the problems I described. One of them was specifically calling for the sort of openness and transparency which they gave us with the OCS announcement. How hypocritical would it be for me to call them out on the carpet for this change, less than a week after asking them to trust that we can handle bad news, as long as they communicate it honestly and directly. I'm going to stop beating this dead horse now, and switch gears into the thing that I originally wanted to make today's video about before the OCS delay was announced. We are 2.5 weeks from CitizenCon. Last year we got that sensational demo taking us from Area 18 on ArcCorp to the outside of a truck stop, all the way to Hurston and the outskirts of Lorville. With 3.3 coming out the same day as this year's CitizenCon, I'm thinking that just showing off that patch's new content isn't going to empty anyone's wallet when people can play it themselves that same day. Looking at the schedule, there are a few key hints that point to what we can expect on October 10th. The first and safest speculative nugget I'm going to throw out here is that we are going to get a new concept ship from Drake, and it's going to be the Kraken carrier and or the Corsair exploration ship from the You Pick the Next Drake ship contest. I expect this reveal to come during the opening keynote address, as there is no topic listed for that event, and nothing else on the schedule looks like a good fit for that kind of announcement. Consider the following quote right from the CitizenCon page. Quote, "The most epic happening in the verse, sponsored and hosted by controversial ship slingers Drake Interplanetary. Reinventing their own image in the wake of PR turbulence and corporate restructuring, Drake has a chip on its shoulder and perhaps a game-changing ace up its sleeve. CitizenCon 2948 is not to be missed." End quote. Based on that, the Kraken concept cell at CitizenCon is the surest bet in the world. The next thing I'm going to predict is the thing I'm most looking forward to, a demonstration of the new and improved flight model. There is a 1-hour presentation by David Coulson, the new developer in charge of the flight model, and based on Chris Roberts' recent appearance on RTV, I'm anticipating not just a description, but a demonstration. I'll go further and say that the specific thing we're going to want to see here is a dogfight, and ideally they would show that both in and out of atmosphere so we can see the full scope of the changes. I went into the flight model more in a recent video, which is linked up for you now. My final prediction is that we will receive, at a minimum, a Squadron 42 roadmap, but more ideally, a release date for that game. The closing event of the convention is a 30-minute presentation by Chris Roberts titled Road to Release. By the time the cheering dies down and he gives his thanks and acknowledgements, there won't be a ton of time left to say whatever he's going to say and call everyone up on stage for a final bow. Most of the flash and tech demoed at CitizenCon will be shown off during the earlier presentations, including Chris's opening keynote address. It's going to have to be a brief and unambiguous exclamation point on the entire day. What better thing than a release announcement to cap the day's festivities? Perhaps the reason they've been dragging their feet on releasing the Squadron 42 roadmap is because they knew they were getting so close to being able to announce a release date. In my wildest dreams, I envisioned an Oprah moment where Chris announces that the game is done, and everyone in the audience is going to go home with a free copy. You get a copy. You get a copy. And as cool as that would be, I'm not expecting it, but a date is not outside the realm of possibility. All of the development needed for the single-player experience is done, or nearly done, and we know that they've had teams working on the content in the background all along. So let me know what you think about the Object Container Streaming announcement, and what your expectations for CitizenCon are in the comments. Until next time, I've been Osiris Frost. Thanks for watching.
That's all for today's show. Thanks for watching. If you're new to Star Citizen, or you know someone who's thinking of playing, you or they can earn 5,000 UEC on your account by registering with my referral code, which you can find in the show notes down below. If you have any questions, feedback, or episode suggestions, go ahead and leave them in the comments. And if you haven't already, please be sure to like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.